Hey guys, Skinny Elephant here, back with more sports videos about sports. We're talking about the Euros again. We're back with Group D. And I said I was going to reveal who I thought was the second dark horse in this tournament. And I'm going to go with Croatia on this one. We're going to talk about Spain first. Right, since they're the biggest team in the group. And to me, like I said, they're one of the more complete teams in this group. And you look at, Cesc Fabregas. You look at Iniesta, who is no longer a key point at Barca, but still in that cog, even at over 30 years old there. David Silva, who's been incredible throughout. He had kind of an underwhelming season, but always plays well when he plays for Spain. And you have guys like Nolito, who had a great season at Celta Vigo, who got a go ahead from Del Bosque. Morata, and then you have Koke, and just a lot of key players that are still there from their 2008 to 2012 run, in Iniesta and Silva and whatnot. And you look at this and you see probably their weakest point again is probably defense. At times, PK and Ramos are no longer the guys they used to be, or at least if you're FIFA feels like they're gods when they're not that great anymore. And their defense is getting up there in age. So you have guys like Bellerin and Azpilicueta jumping in there and filling that role.
Bellerin's not going to start.
No,
it's going to be
Juanfran. Yeah, it's going to be Juanfran and Alba.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm saying like they're stepping in and filling that role. Jordi Alba and Juanfran are going to start, obviously. But the biggest controversy is probably goaltending controversy. Casillas stepped in against Georgia and they lost to Georgia, 150th ranked or something like that. Like they're really low.
Well, you should let them know, because I don't think they watched the game, that it wasn't Casillas' fault. It was the defense's fault. But
no, it wasn't Casillas' fault. I'm not blaming Casillas. That was just poor form. And Spain's coming into this one in not poor form, but not great form. And that could, hurt them at the beginning of this tournament, especially in their group where they have some tough teams in their group there. But I would like to see De Gea start, and I know you said you would like to see De Gea start.
But Del Bosque is most likely going to start Casillas, and I think that is going to be their biggest downfall. And I think that's going to kill the team.
Yeah.
But you continue on.
No, absolutely. Like I said, Spain, they're not the team. They're not as strong as they used to be. Everyone has either retired or they've grown in age.
I think without Xavi, I think that Spain has not recovered from that yet. They haven't been able to find a player who can play that role, and they just don't look the same. And Del Bosque, he should go. He's not the manager that the current talent that they have right now is not. He's not the manager for Spain.
No, he's served his time. He's been there long enough. You've already won the World Cup and the Euros. The ship has sailed pretty much there. But they have a very good team. I'm not saying they don't have a bad team. They have a very, like I said, one of the more complete teams in this tournament.
Players you really need to watch out for and see do well. Juanfran, who's going to be a really big defensive player for them. If De Gea actually does start, I'm actually going to be very scared for the teams I like coming up against Spain, because I think De Gea, there's up for debate for best goalkeeper in the world right now. I still think it's Neuer, but De Gea is really making a push for it. There's a lot of players on the team that could be interesting. Artstuik Aduriz had one of the best seasons for Spain. They're changing up their style of play. They're having more dynamic forwards. He's a very kind of classical striker. Big guy, slow, but can score goals with his head. And it's going to be really slow paced. They need later on in the game, 90th minute, score a goal if they go to extra time. Say they do actually advance further on, he could be a very important player to them. And I would love to see him play. A youngster, many of us do know, but a youngster to watch was Bellerin. And another guy, I'm trying to think where
Alvaro Morata too, Morata.
Yes,
there.
Morata. Yes.
I think I mentioned him, but Morata there. some troubles from at club level right now with Madrid.
Injuries.
What's going on?
Oh yeah, that.
But hopefully that's off his mind, and he performs really well in the Euros. He's a very good player, and like he said, he's had his fight with injuries, but when he can play, he can change a game at any level. He's won the Champions League already with Madrid, and he went to the finals with Juventus, and he's done very well at Juventus. So I would very much like to see Arsenal pick him up. So let's make that happen, Wagner. Did you have another player?
I was also going to mention, I know you don't really agree with this one, but Lucas Vazquez. He's been a real surprise player for Real Madrid. He's not the most, fancy kind of superstar-like player, but he's a great super sub. Zidane really loves him.
Mm-hmm.
He does really well. He's actually integrated into the team. When you're getting consistent first team minutes for Real Madrid, one of the best teams in the world, you must be doing something right. And it's not even because of injuries. It's just because he really likes him. And most likely he's not going to start, but I think he could be a key impact player off the bench.
No, absolutely. And it's not that I don't like him. I feel like he's there because of injuries, but I mean he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good player.
Injuries for Spain.
Injuries for Spain. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But and well, let's get to the dark horse. I guess. I mean, like I said, my second dark horse in this tournament has to be Croatia, and the reason why is you look at this team and it has really good depth. I mean, it has one of the most depth when it comes to depth, one of the most deepest teams in this tournament.
Midfield.
Even the defense isn't too bad, but midfield wise is incredible. Like
I think the only teams that can come up and I think coming into the Euros, I think they have the best midfield partnership, and Ivan Rakitic and Luka Modric.
Yeah.
Germany can't match that. France can't match that. That's one thing Croatia has over all the teams in coming to the Euros right now.
No, absolutely. Even guys like Ivan Perisic, Kovacic, Brozovic are very, very talented young players coming up in the world football. And you look at their defense, like I said, their defense isn't too bad. You have Verseco, who plays for Sassuolo, and he's very keen. Like, everyone wants him in the transfer market come July, and he's very heavily linked with a lot of teams. Veterans like Troluca and Serna have been very good.
Player you need to look at Dernajak Vida from Dynamo Kiev. He's linked to Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of their most important center backs. I'm actually honestly disappointed why they didn't bring Lovren. Lovren, obviously for the first year at Liverpool, absolute joke. But coming into this season under Klopp, he's looked revitalized and he's had a tremendous second season. So it's actually a very big surprise that he wasn't called up to the Croatia squad. Other than Mario Mandzukic, which is their main striker, they have an on-form hot striker in Andres Kramaric, for currently playing for Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
He's bought out. He actually used to play for Leicester, but Hoffenheim
He will
recently
be
just bought
playing
him.
for Hoffenheim now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good player that you should be looking at. They have a really good goalie in what's his name there?
Subasic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Subasic.
Subasic, who plays for Monaco in Liga in the French league, and like their team looks really good. It just I think the only problem they have right now is with management. There's some scuffles going on there. They've had some problems, and the players aren't really trusting the coach too much. And my thing is that they may have a slow start coming into Euros, but once they pick up, I think they can go very far. I agree with him as much that they are my dark horses for the team, and a definite player I'd recommend watching out for on Croatia. I would say, what's his name? Trying to find.
Probably Kovacic, eh?
Kovacic, yes, Kovacic.
Definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely, a very talented young player there.
That can actually finally have his time to shine.
No, absolutely. Super sub there. We'll go with Turkey next. Might as well go with Turkey there. You look at this Turkey squad, and they don't look bad. They look fairly decent. A lot of older players. Again, veterans necessarily isn't a bad thing. Experience is always a good thing. But look at the squad, and you have some very young talents coming up as well. I don't know why Erkin is midfield. I don't get that. It's a left back, but they have Yilmaz, who's been there for a while, and he's a very good striker and has done wonders for this Turkish team at times, and has helped them out a lot. You have guys like Yunus Mali, who had a really good season for Mainz in the Bundesliga there. Uzia Cup is being watched by many teams in the Premier League and the La Liga as well, who's a very good young talent.
Extremely creative player.
Very creative player, yes. Arda Turan, who's been there.
He's barely done anything at Barcelona. He's barely had any playing time, but the ability's there. One of my personal favorites.
I was holding him. I was waiting for you.
Hakan Çalhanoğlu from the Bundesliga. Let's just say if he gets a free kick for the Euros, he's scoring it. He's just that good.
Yeah.
He's actually if he keeps on going where he's going, he might take Pirlo for the free kick.
No one's better than Pirlo.
I don't think he's better than Pirlo, but still, he's a phenomenal free kick taker. He's also very creative.
Yeah.
He scores big game. He scores in big games. First for Hamburg, and also for Bayer Leverkusen, especially when they're playing in the Champions League. He scores. Scored some big games for them. Another player that you should obviously be aware of is Nuri Sahin. Despite injuries, I think he's one of the best midfielders in the Bundesliga if he's healthy, and he's going to be a huge creative presence for Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays, which he should be playing. So I don't see him playing.
I don't see him.
see him playing.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, a very, very good mixture of veterans and young talent at Turkey. Brought up to the squad, so it's going to be very interesting to say the least. Last team, who I feel is probably the weakest squad in this group, but they have probably one of the best keepers in the world, which will really help them out in this tournament. So Petr Cech, Czech Republic there, plays for Arsenal, obviously my club. Very talented goaltender, one of the best goaltenders in the world right now, and that's really going to help him out. But you look at your squad, this Czech Republic squad, and it's not that they lack of talent, but
they're an old team.
They're an older team, and they just lack quality at times. When you look at this squad, Thomas Brzezinski was still one of the most talented players in the world, but he's up there now, and he's older than
35 years old.
35 years old. He's up there. Yaroslav Plasil used to be a very good player. He's up there now as well. So a lot of they've held on to these guys they've been there for a while, but they're up there and they're older now. So it's going to come down to fitness for me. If this team can keep up with the much younger Turkish, Spanish, and Croatian squad. So, but again, I think when it comes to goaltender, probably Czech and De Gea are probably the two best goaltenders in this group.
Easily.
Yeah, easily. You can debate with who's better. De Gea is probably better right now than Czech. But one guy who's very talented. He's not really much of an offensive winger, but Ladislav Krejci is a very talented winger, and he helps out more defensively than offensively, and he's a really underrated player who can really help this Croatian team, Czech Republic team at times, in this group there. Like this Czech team's gonna counter. They tend to counter a lot, so watch out for guys like Vladimir Darida and Thomas Nedsid, who had a lot of goals in qualifying in their group and whatnot. So they qualified over the Holland, who, don't get me wrong, struggled a lot. The Netherlands are out, but Czech Republic did a very good job of coping with them, and they made it through, and the Netherlands are out. So, give them credit. The Czechs, they made it through, and we'll see what happens in this group. I feel that they're the weakest team in this group, but you never know.
I think, if anything, the best player is going to be Czech, and if they are to go through, Czech is going to be the guy who's going to carry the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, I guess time of the show again. I'll go with my predictions. He'll go with his. Spain, to me, is the best team in this group. Whether I think they will struggle, which I believe they will, But to me, it's a toss-up between Croatia and Spain finishing first. But I think Spain will still finish first because they still have an altogether complete team. Croatia will probably finish second, minding that they don't argue with their coach the entire tournament, which has happened a lot in qualifying. But I feel Croatia's talent will propel them over Turkey, and it'll be Spain, Croatia. Turkey will finish third, and maybe in the 4 best third place teams as well, depending on how well they do, if they get a win and a tie there or whatnot. And again, to me, this Czech team is probably the weakest in the group. I feel they'll finish last, but you never know. There could be a surprise there with this Czech team. Petr Cech's going to keep them in as long as he can anyway. But yeah, it's going to be Spain, Croatia, and Turkey, I feel it will be anyways.
Here's my thing. If De Gea starts, I'm calling Spain is most likely going to win the group. If Spain doesn't start,
If Spain doesn't
and
start.
no. If De Gea doesn't start and Casillas starts over De Gea, I'm actually calling third place. If Del Bosque puts Casillas over De Gea, they're getting third place and they're going to regret it.
Well, if Casillas screws up the first game, he's not playing the second game.
You never know.
The Bosque's not that much of an idiot.
We have to wait and see, right?
Yeah.
Croatia, I think is going to win the group, and following Turkey, I like to see Czech Republic do, but I'd like to see them push Spain for third place. But I'm not a particularly Spain fan. But we have to wait and see. Like I said, Spain have the team, but I think the goalkeeping aspect and the Casillas, he's a legend. Used to be a great goalie, legendary goalie, but he's nowhere near what he used to be. And De Gea is clearly much better. He's even, like I said, up against Neuer for #1 goalie in the world. And if he doesn't start, Spain are going to get punished for it. And, Croatia first. Turkey's going to do second to go. I think they're going to surprise some people. And Spain third. It's, like I said, it's all about the goalkeeping situation. And obviously, De Gea does start. Spain, Croatia, Turkey. And I think Turkey has a team to be one of the third place qualifying teams.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they have more than a good enough team to make it through. Absolutely, there. So Group Group E is next. Sorry, I'm skipping a letter. Group E is next, and Italy are in that group. So I'll have my say on that one in the next video there. So again, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and peace, guys.